Black metal, extreme music genre by excellence, where darkness invades the listener in all of its senses, like swimming in a sea of infinite shadows. The unique experience of receiving a brutal blow of annihilation in life, the imminent appearance and expansion of darkness within you. Those resonating blows. Black metal by itself has a lot of mysticism and chilling stories that many of us are familiar with, that have made this musical genre unique, and not only because of the stories, but for its formation, consolidation, exposure. But however, there are several extravagant and fascinating passages that makes you wonder if we truly know all about black metal. Here I present you a list of very dark bands, sinister and perverse, in which extravagance and strangeness and the bizarre predominate. Demented and chaotic bands that have come to create a cult each on their own, with macabre and twisted minds pushing the extreme towards new demographic limits. I'm going to go for the obvious cases like Mayhem and Sinister, since we all know these stories. However, here I will share very particular and unique bands of their kind, who have had something out of the common and ordinary within their creation and elaboration. Always remember that if you stare into the abyss for too long, the abyss will look back at you, and when darkness prevails, there is not much left to distinguish between life and death. Stalag was an experimental band originated in Amsterdam, Netherlands, by three anonymous people. The name of the band comes from the German concentration camps Stalag II from World War II, adding the G and H at the end of the name standing for Global Holocaust. The objective of this project was from the beginning to the fact of transmitting terror and panic in this chilling atmosphere of insane chaos. It is an experimental black metal band with atmospheric and touches of drone and dark ambient, with slow tempos that resemble the steps of an entity that one of the members psychiatric hospital and managed to kidnap 7 patients under the pretext of taking them to a different environment to exploit their emotions through screams and howls. However, the Stalag member had another goal in mind. While the patients, between schizophrenics, patients with paranoid mental disorders, psychopaths and killers, were taken to abandoned factories, abandoned churches and monasteries. Through the desolated landscapes they experienced an irritation, an imminent despair in individuals were created, provoking them, and as the result expressing their insane dementia and screaming in panic. Even one of the musicians was about to be killed by one of the sick patients when he had a homicidal attack in the middle of his cell. The same member asked one of the patients to draw the cover, and what he did is this, which ended up being the cover of the album, Pure Misanthropy. A drawing so simple that it expresses so much at the same time. One of the musicians expressed the following: "We recorded mental patients because the band wanted the hate and the wild reactions, making them to be felt with realness. We also wanted to recreate the concentration camps." Within this sound, Stalag tried managing to record howls, shoutings, and lamentations and exclamations of confusion and pain from the patients, of which their suffering was documented, and disturbing and painful screams, going down through history as one of the most unhealthy projects and morbid in existence, a real torture soundscape to the human ear. Ahulabrum is an experimental black metal project from West Virginia in the USA. Formed in 2005, Ahulabrum presents a very distorted and atypical black metal, with slow tempos and evil and harmful sounds, with chilling samples and creepy synthesizers, with UFO themes, aliens, and the immensity and mystery of the universe, focusing all of his music on UFO sightings, classified documents, alien mysticism, and more. The madness it presents, together with a cryptic and dynamic sound, is that each of his compositions has names and ideas regarding UFO sightings and key dates of paranormal encounters with beings from other planets. Ahulabrum immerses us in clouds of confusion, on pasty and raw and enigmatic black metal. It's like frequency of beings trying to communicate with us, an endless number of opportunities that makes us think we are in communication with these beings, and witnessing these soundtracks of dementia and possession of Ahulabrum, with unidentified flying objects and aliens, dazzle an extreme portal of fearful sensations towards the unknown, which is translated by its music into the listener. When the artist has been asked, "What do you want to achieve with Ahulabrum?" he stated, "I wanted to expand the listener's consciousness. These entities have been interacting with humanity since the beginning of time. These entities have communicated with me, and I feel that I am being used as a channel through Ahulabrum to communicate with the whole world. Once everything is ready and plugged in, once everything is organized, I enter to a trance, where these astral and critical entities take hold of me, and the final result is Ahulabrum." Is a solo project from Antichrist from Canada, focusing primarily in the customs and stories of northern tribes. The topics they touch on have a lot to do with violence, satanic rites, ancestral rites. The name means something like Great Cannibal in the Nordic end of the earth, and this is the guardian spirit of the northern part of creation, which is located in the Arctic. It's a cannibal who in mythology eats the dancers and followers of the secret society of the Hamatsa. They are digested while losing their identity, and then when they are within their intestines, their spirits are purified and converted, as they are regurgitated to their existence back. This project calls its music chaos, black magic metal, with the total experience of darkness and terrifying gloomy atmospheres. His music is concentrated in ritualistic and esoteric sounds, with a sinister, gloomy, and sepulchral atmosphere, a real insane state of mind that makes us feel as if we are being swallowed by a monstrous being, and the only thing we hear are the cries of despair and the pain while dismemberment of our limbs and body is given, while we are still alive and experiencing the pain. And as our life starts to fade away, little by little, a truly terrifying experience. Paiho. This is a depressive black metal and atmospheric project. Black metal with dark ambient created in Seoul, Korea, in the year 2001 under the direction of Paiho. The name Paiho means ruins, and the lyrics and themes of this project are based on mainly pain, desolation, melancholy, depression, and grief. And these are themes that we can perceive from the very first moment of listening to the music. These cries of help from a disturbed and tortured mind, exclamation howls of sadness, hungry for the last straw of life in existence, and a cry of despair from soul. Although it could pass as another more depressive black metal project, Paihu performs a traditional depressive black metal but with gloomy atmospheric tones and a lot of distortion, with creepy synthesizers as a companion, delivering a funeral and heartbreaking atmosphere. But the dark and most incredible thing about this project is that all of this we hear comes from a 13-year-old boy screaming loudly, emanating all of his unceasing anguish and pain. The desolated landscape is impressive, created by this teen at his short age, spilling traces of grief and pain. Terrifying to think that the degree of depression through which he has been going on at such a young age, the level of anguish emulated on these disturbing exclamations, producing this great gift of piercing depressive black metal. Absurd. It's a current that emerged in the 90s and is maintained till this day, as we know. Many bands condemn and forget about this subgenre. However, there is a huge fan base that exists. Absurd is born as an NS band in Germany, initially under the name 88 Hell, Deutschland, by Hendrik Mobus and Sebastian Schotten. In 87 and in 92, they changed their name, and their lyrics predominate under the banners of paganism, nationalism, war, anti-Jew Christianity, religions, Norse mythology. Additionally to the music, Absurd rose to fame for the massacre to Sandro Bayer at the hands of Hendrik Mobus and the band. It is said that Bayer constantly frequented the members of Absurd. Although it did not interest their company, it did not like their presence. Eventually, Bayer stopped frequenting them, but initiated rumors and publicly condemned the group for its satanic ideology. Bayer even threatened to expose the hidden relationship of one of the members with the mother of a pupil and catechist, a married woman. Hendrik's girlfriend spoke to Bayer and pretended to be his friend, telling him that he agreed with the criticism to the band and that he wanted to help him. He was booked in one place and Bayer attended. For his surprise, the band members were already there waiting for him. Calling themselves the Son of Satan, the three teenagers tied Sandro up, an electrical cable passed around his neck, and watched him beg for clemency. How he cried, begged while being kicked to death in asphyxiation. The next day, they went to school as if nothing had happened. Even more, they returned to the scene of the crime to enjoy a snack in the countryside and joke about Sandro's disappearance. Arrested 1 week later, they confessed with the same naturalness, having eliminated the undesirable. Prior to the attack of Bayer, Absurd had made clear their intentions and their faith. In an interview with their high school newspaper in November of '92, Hendrik had clearly stated his faith, saying the following: "We believe in Lucifer, the evil in death. In the blood we desire the death of all living beings," said that in an interview in which he even launched a direct threat to Sandro, saying deep in the forest, "No one will hear you scream, you damn Jew." But not even in the interview, nor the macabre atrocities of the three young men, nor the hours spent feeding their minds with murder, in the video their black silver masses in the village cemetery, provoked the reaction of some people at all. The members were imprisoned, tried and convicted for murder. They were released years later for being minors. However, it was very clear the history of the bloodthirsty act performed by the members, doing justice to their beliefs. Absurd continues to release diverse musical material to this day with the same themes and such. a little more focused on pagan and Odinist themes and nationalism. However, they will always be remembered for their rawness and brutality, not only in their music, but in their actions. In '95, they released an LP, Thuringian Pagan Madness, where the cover shows the tombstone of the place where Sandra Weyer was buried. Proptinagen performs a mixture of depraved black metal and vomiting noise experimental, full distorted guitar, powered by total lo-fi equipment and inhuman vocals. With very little known from this project, however, one begins to experience what becomes a disturbing effect of all songs and themes used here, which are for torture, death, and human depravity, with songs such as The Stained Face, The Ruins, Disease Collector, Disaster Stained by Torture, Poisonous Language, Bloody Water, My Mouth Tastes Like Blood, My Blood Tastes Like You. We are the carriers of infection and pain. I imagine myself drowning sometimes. The wild children talk with bloody grunts and trampled by white elephants. All these names give you an idea of where it is headed, the music and the experience. The artist's psychotic mind is in another level of chilling, dissonant and airy, pure cacophony overflowing with expressive distress. If hell exists, this one will surely be its soundtrack. Witch Desire was a super dark, mega, ultra underground band from Moldova, created in '93, and with its only demo released in '95, from Moldova's Forest of Darkness. Legend has it that the group practiced various satanic and black magic rites, created a pact by invoking the devil himself with the objective of being able to have the power of creation. What we hear is a satanic rite invoking the dark forces. Supernatural, and that the vocalist sings is the spirit of a sinister entity, possessed while being recorded. The screeches and exclamations from beyond the grave, which were then mixed with all the instrumentation. Witch Desire released only one demo, and in this demo we can have a traditional black metal, but with a gloomy touch, funeral and balanced, but mostly haunted. For all this mysticism created by these demonic possessions, undoubtedly a chilling voice and feeling from the dark forests of Moldova. Dead Reptile Shrine. This is a one-man band from Finland playing an unorthodox black metal with primitive riffs, ambient synthesizers, parts, buzzing backgrounds, grunting voices, pitiful screams, satanic chants, with thematic lyrics that range from classic perception of magic and ancestral rituals. Their music is not exactly a celebration of friendship. It is mostly a portrait of a soul being torn apart by dark and light elements. With listeners, we are thrown into a well and left wallowing in the excrement bed, filthy with our own soul, pain relieved only by sparse flashes of light at the top of the shaft that seems so far away dedicated to providing obscene magical talismans, harsh and relentless, similar to those of black metal, dark, ambient, and ritual noise. The totality is beyond the usual categories. What could honestly be described as an insane astral, dimensional, and satanic experimental black metal that invokes the cruelest passages of mind, along with precision and worship to the mystery and mysticism of satanic and ancestral rituals.
Ocularis Septentrionalis.
This is a black metal duo from Germany who bases all their creations on UFOs and aliens, labeled its sound as alien black metal, a very disturbing sound that gets into your mind and it just makes you feel like you are listening to an alien entity trying to communicate with you. Projected and atmospheric and psychedelic black metal, experimental with voices definitely from another world, inhuman and disturbing. A basic sound within the conceptions of black metal, but accompanied by disturbing and bizarre synthesizers. It is alarming, the atmosphere and feeling generated for the listener. It has always been captivating, the idea of the existence of beings from another planet and what would be their image. Well, here we probably have a hint. The sound is chaotic and mesmerizing. Somehow, it achieves its goal, getting into your mind with an eerie resonance, having very closely what it would be like to hear an alien in your ears. This is a black metal solo act from Japan, founded by Jekyll. It is achieved to emerge as an established itself, with pillars of Japanese black metal within the underground. His music, inspired by Last Legion War, produces a very hard, cold sound, fierce and raw, ghostly, with a lot of distortion and demonic and haunted howls. At times melodic, but at times very disturbing, especially considering the artist's ambition in a society as conservative as Japan's. The disturbing riffs are intriguing, and the intriguing covers create a very creepy atmosphere for the viewer. Besides, if we add the obscenely and disturbing illustrations of his release, with lyrics based on loneliness, desolation, and lamentation and sadness, Mannerism presents us with a different approach towards the black metal that we typically know, with a heartbreaking end-of-life insignia, sounds that were hidden in the vestiges of time and madness. Well, thank you so much for staying until this part of the video. If you like what you saw and what you heard, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, share it, subscribe to the channel, and let me know if you would like to receive more lists like this one with many amazing and intriguing bands that cover the whole sinister and eerie world of black